Cher, give it up! All right. Well, what does this 1965 photo of you and Sonny remind you of when you see this?
Well, we were in the Hilton Hotel, which we had been kicked out of about a week before, and we're just hanging out. We'd done a press conference, and we're just hanging out.
I love that what did you get kicked out for?
Well, because if you look the way we look, people were trying to beat us up, and they just were frightened of it. They didn't understand that it was nothing to be afraid of. It was just new or different, and that's why we went to England, because we couldn't really get work in America.
Wow, that's so, I just, for me and my generation, I just didn't know all of that. And I obviously grew up in a different environment. And so it's just crazy to me that, like, you're known for being such a powerful leader in the fashion world and being so confident in that, and when I mean fashion, I mean like real fashion. Like, I don't really get into a lot of it, but I love what you do. I love all those Bob Mackie dresses. I love all of that because it's real, true fashion. It's like, it can be revealing, but it can also be mysterious, and it's beautiful, and it's art. And I think that it's so crazy for me to think that, like, back in the day, people were afraid of that, but obviously it was a different time. But let's move on to the 1970s. This 70s dress, oh my God, I love it. It's also the image on the box of your 1970s fragrance.
Right.
So let's show that. This is so great. And it's a Bob Mackie dress, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah. That dress has been copied by every woman, I think, living now. And they haven't gotten it right.
Every woman that could possibly wear something like that, because I think it would look rather different on me, Cher.
Look how young Bob
That's a beautiful...
It is a beautiful dress.
I know.
And it's made out of a material that is illegal in America because, you know, magician's paper, and it just goes up like that? Well, so does that dress.
So, oh, wait. So, like, if anyone was like a cigarette around you,
absolutely.
Oh my God, what you do for art and beauty. Oh, that's crazy. And also very rock and roll. And of course it was like flammable. You're so awesome. That's literally one of my favorite things that you've ever worn. It's so cool.
No, it's my favorite. I have another one though.
Oh, is it? What's your favorite?
Well, that's my favorite, but one of my other favorites is the one with the big giant feathers, the black one with the big giant feathers.
Wait, is this, okay, I'm gonna get to that one in a minute because I love that one as well. But is it, because I'm gonna get to that one, that one's cool. You have so many cool ones, it's ridiculous. But I have to ask this because I remember hearing this and I was like, I gotta ask her in the interview. Is it true that Jennifer Aniston would come over to play at your house as a little girl in the 70s?
As a teenager, I mean, as like a middle teenager, and eat me out of house and home. And it's like the kids, the girls always used to, you know, they knew when I went to Balducci, and they would just show up and just chow down. And she was a big chow downer.
I love it. I didn't know. I just think that's so funny. Nobody knows that behind the scenes of like how people that you don't know are related in some way, in some capacity, like back in the day. That's so cool to me. Did you know, did anybody know that she was acting and gonna do anything like that at that age? Because she was so young.
No, I mean, she was going to school, you know, she was going to High School of Performing Arts. And this is one thing that I know. It's like when my mom used to say to anybody she met, I have a daughter who sings. Well, the minute you say that, people just turn it off. And Ahmet Ertegun, the big manager and owner of Atlantic Records, my mom said, I have a daughter who sings, and he said, yes, Georgia, that's good. And then he signed us, and then we're singing, and one night my mom comes in, and he said, Georgia, what are you doing here? And she said, I told you I have a daughter that sings. There she is.
Oh my God, that's so true though, because I mean, you've had to have that happen so many times too. I do too. They're always like, oh, my daughter sings, or oh, my son sings. And I'm always like, they always like think there's some kind of magical way I can make it happen for them. Does that happen to you a lot of time? Because I'm like, look, it's just sometimes you're there in a studio and somebody's car breaks down and you're singing the BGV and you get in that way. You know, like you do with Darling, you just never know like how it's gonna happen. So don't you get that a lot though? People saying all the time, like my kid sings?
Yeah. And sometimes
I know, I get that too.
Sometimes you see them later, you know, on TV, and sometimes you can do something, but most times you can't.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm always like, it's always a hard thing to be like, man, you just got to say yes to everything. You get out there and like do it, because you never know what your chance will be or whatever. But now we're heading into the 1980s. Turn Back Time is also the slogan from your fragrance collection, which is just so clever. But what do you remember about that song and that video? Because I feel like sometimes artists, people don't know the stories that go behind songs when we like end up saying yes, we end up recording them. So what happened with that song? How did that song come to you?
Diane Warren wrote it, and she brought it to me, and I didn't want to do it. And because she was doing the demo, and she is not exactly a singer that you want to listen to. And so I kept saying no. I kept saying no, no, and no. And then she said, I'll pay for it if it doesn't turn out great. Well, knowing Diane is the cheapest woman that ever drew breath, I said, okay, I got to do this because I just got to do it. And the moment I started, the song just sung itself. Do you know what I mean? I opened my mouth and the song just came out and sung itself.
I'll tell you what, man, she's one hell of a writer, but she's also very bold. Like when she sings a song, she was like, you are stupid if you don't do this. Right. It's like,
she followed me into an AA meeting to sell me a song. No, sorry. No, it was an Al-Anon meeting. It was an Al-Anon meeting, and she came in, and somebody said, are you here, blah, blah, blah. She said, no, I just want to see Cher because I have a song I wanted to hear. And they kicked her out.
I know, but you know what? There's one thing I'll give that woman. She is persistent, but she writes a lot of great songs, so there's that. But so what do you remember about that video, like making that video? It's so iconic.
Well, I remember Bob saying, don't tell anybody I made this. And when I see it, I think you might have gone a little bit too far this time. And but whatever. And so I just also, we did so many different things. I went around in a speedboat, and then I climbed up the side of the Missouri and came. I mean, we did everything. All they used was that. All they used was that. And my son's in it. And it's just, look, it's bold. It might be past bold. It's crass. But I don't care.
I gotta be honest with you, like, I actually really dug it. I thought it was awesome, an incredible domino effect, I think, in a positive way for a lot of people. I thought it was rad. Now, I can't wear that, but, like, you can, and it looks good. Not everybody's blessed.
No. But, for me, it's never been a statement of how far I can push something. It's always been a statement of this is what I want to do. And let me tell you, you know the dress that we saw, the one that blows up? That was on the cover of Time magazine. In the South, they ripped the cover off. So you know how far.
Well, that's not shocking. Yeah. Yeah. But you had two iconic looks this decade that we're talking about. So you already talked about this one from 1986. So this is another one you loved, right?
Yes. Bob designed that for me, but I had the idea. And I asked him to do it because the Academy said that the men I chose were not appropriate and that my clothing was inappropriate. So I thought, you think that's bad? Wait till you see this.
I love that. I love that. And that's
I'm going to tell you something. So I was presenting something, right? And I was going to present. And I was going around the back, and it's all black duvetine, which is like black velvet, and you can't see anything. But when you're back there, and if you've been in front of the lights, you can't see anything. So I'm going around, and I run into Jane Fonda, and she looks at me, she goes, I have got to get to my seat before you get on stage, okay? I just have to see this. Well,
I love that moment. And it was very, very cool for a lot of us. And finally, though, I want to talk about the 90s. So this is like the time I grew up in, that I love music and all that kind of stuff. So how did the song Believe come to you? Because it's such an iconic song.
Okay, first I got dropped by my record company. And a man in England who ran Warner's UK said, I believe in you, and come to me and I will help you. So I got Believe, and the chorus was great, but the verse was terrible. And so my producer, who I never had a cross word with, kept saying, you have to sing it better. You have to sing it better. And I said, babe, if you want it sung better, get somebody else. So then I left. And then he said, the next day, he said, you know, I've been playing around with the pitch machine, and I think I might have something. So I went in, and I sat next to him, and he started to play it. And it was unbelievable because there was never anything like it. And when it was done, we high-fived each other. And then the people from the record company, who I loved, and the Germans, I don't know why they were in there, but anyway, they were, I can't say this. But so they said, well, you can't, no, we don't know it's you. And I went, exactly, from the beginning, and it spiced up the verse, and it just sailed, you know? And then they said, you can't have it. And I said, well, can you bleep this?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's my show. We can do whatever you want.
So anyway, I said, okay, you can take it out over my dead body.
But thank you so much for taking us through those decades. This is such a cool, rad perfume line. I love it so much. I love the whole backstory of it all. But everybody, Cher is celebrating each decade of her iconic career with a unique fragrance that conveys the feelings of the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, like we were just talking about, with 4 timeless scents. See what we did there? And everyone here will get to enjoy those scents because you're all going home with a bottle from Cher Decades Eau de Parfum.